In this episode of Fictional Hangover, we talk about croquet shenanigans, penis art, antagonistic flirtation, and our honeybun death. In our discussion of Foxglove by Adalyn Grace. Pshaw, I say. Pshaw.
Pshaw.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fictional Hangover, a podcast about young adult and new adult, and sometimes other books, series, authors, voice actors, and illustrators that is full of spoilers. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire, and today we're going to discuss Foxglove by Adalyn Grace.
Standard disclaimer. If you haven't read this book, please remember that Fictional Hangover is all about spoilers. If you haven't read or listened and don't want to be spoiled, stop listening to us and go read or listen to the book. Then come back. If you haven't done this but want to pretend that you have, or if you don't care about spoilers, or if you just love the show so much that you don't care about any of that, then listen up.
Yay!
Yay! People don't know this because we've released an episode every week, but we haven't talked to each other in like a month, so
I don't like that. It's very weird.
We haven't recorded anything in like a month, and it's weird, and I didn't like it at all.
The closest was you sent me some videos for me to edit into a short.
Yes.
And that was it.
And those are fun.
Yes, I'm enjoying doing those.
Yes. But now
check out the My Lady Jane shorts.
Yes.
The last episode will have been released.
And then coming up next is The Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Yes.
Because that's out now.
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
That's a thing.
That's a thing in both of our countries, too. It's nice.
I have purposely avoided watching it so far.
Even though we share these videos with people, and I'm not very subtle with my mouthing and what I just said. So,
well, this is testing to see if they're watching.
It's true. Probably not. Yeah.
This is going to be a long one.
It is.
Settle in with a snack of your choice and a nice beverage.
Yes, definitely. You're gonna need it.
And let's dive in with some background
information. Let's do.
It's been so long since I've had any.
I know. Well, we're visiting thenerddaily.com, and Adalyn is asked if you could only describe Foxglove in 5 words, what would they be?
Ooh.
A true test of relationships. Or, alternatively, tense, twisty, shenanigan field. Oh,
wow. Wow.
Whoa, take it back. Shenanigan-filled courting croquet.
Oh.
I like croquet.
I feel like that's our intro right there.
Yes. Was it the shenanigan field? It's field. It's
field.
Field.
Yes.
The shenanigans.
How'd you say croquet in Southern?
God, I don't know. Probably croquet.
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 Are you okay, croquet? Oh, no.
Continuing with that interview, there was another question asked. What can readers expect? Shenanigans from fate. Certainly. He's Death's estranged brother who has arrived with an agenda all his own and is here to liven things up. I feel like that's a wink. Liven things up. There are new locations, new characters, the development and testing of relationships, and brand new mystery to solve.
Ooh.
Yeah. I have words to say about the brand new mystery to solve, but we need to get through the episode, and I don't need to say those words right now. So what are your initial thoughts? Because mine are...
I mean, there's a very good likelihood the microphone just cut out there because you went that high.
I know.
I feel like I'm the same. Oh, yay!
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to talking about Foxglove. We loved Belladonna. Like, Belladonna, I think, is mutually one of our books of the year.
Yes.
And I was so worried that the sequel would let the series down, as sequels are wont to do.
That is typically a book 2 issue.
It is a curse of book 2.
Yes.
However, as we dive into the summary, it literally picks up the second book 1 ends.
Yes.
So it doesn't feel like a sequel, it feels like the continuation of the story, which is different.
Yes. Okay, well let's dig in. Fate is weaving a tapestry as if he were making music. He can hear the song of the threads and his needle piercing the canvas as he sews the person's life, the color of the thread changing until it eventually goes black. When he has finished weaving this tale, Fate hears something coming from another canvas. Walking through the rows and rows of masterpieces, Fate finds not 1, but 2 canvases whose threads are changing. One is the ugliest Fate has ever woven, filled with gray and purple, the canvas of a woman he intended for his brother Death, a woman Death could love but never have. The gray threads are now turning red and yellow and silver and black. The second one, once covered in blues and pinks, is covered in black and white. Fate tries to stop the change with his needle, but it doesn't work. He tries to burn the canvases, but it doesn't work either. Fate decides he needs to see the girl with silver woven in her canvas. Cigna Farrow. No one is shocked by this. It's time to crash a party.
Dum, dum, dum. Smash cut to the end of Belladonna. At a party at Thorngrove, in the middle of announcing his new partnership with Elijah Hawthorne, Lord Wakefield, the Duke of Burness, drops down dead. Womp, womp. He has been poisoned! Only Cigna Farrow and Death can see his spirit. Everyone else can only see his corpse. It's at this moment Fate decides to crash the party. Cigna is stunned at first that Fate addresses Death as brother. Fate tells them he is here to see the lady who has stolen Death's heart. Fate grabs Cigna by the throat and whispers it in her ear, asking if she has any idea who he is. She doesn't, but later something seems familiar. Once Fate stops his threatening behaviour towards Cigna, he starts mocking Death for being all grown up. Fate then turns his attention to the party, accusing Elijah Hawthorne of handing the Duke a poisoned drink. Everett, Lord Wakefield's son, also accuses Byron Hawthorne. Both men are taken away for questioning as Blythe Hawthorne berates Fate for his lies.
Thorngrove is dark and empty. The partygoers have finally all departed, and Blythe and the servants have gone to bed. Only Lord Wakefield's spirit remains in the ballroom, while Cigna wanders the halls, Death close by her. Death catches Cigna in his shadows, and they share touches. She tries to find out more about his brother and who Death is, both good and bad, but Death is good at distracting her, and the touches become skin contact, which stops Cigna's heart and breath, releasing her Reaper form. In a parlor, they start to make good use of the chessboard and the chase until the Duke interrupts them. He's ready to move on. Death swears he will come back to Cigna soon before taking the Duke to his afterlife. As life returns to Cigna's body, she chokes on her breath and is overcome by a coughing fit. Once it passes, Cigna sees her white gloves are stained with blood.
Blythe can't sleep. She's pacing her room, angry at that man for accusing her father of murder. She wouldn't be surprised if it were really he who killed the Duke. She's also worried about her father and uncle, but no one knocks on her door to tell her father is home after a huge misunderstanding. When the sun comes up, Elaine, her lady's maid, brings tea and pastries. As she's being helped out of the ball gown and into a nightie, Elaine's face and voice changes. She looks like she's near death, suffering from a blight, and her voice sounds ancient. Just as quickly as the hallucination or the vision is gone, but Blythe is uncomfortable and dismisses Elaine until breakfast. Perhaps she's fatigued from her long illness and the party. Hopefully she isn't being poisoned again, or the spirits of Thorngrove are haunting her.
Signa is the first down for breakfast, coming fully dressed for the day. Blythe soon joins her in her nightgown, hair disheveled and face powder-smudged from the night before. Blythe is determined to find that man who accused her father of murder the night before. Signa wants to tell Blythe who that man is. Fate, the dangerous brother of Death, who she is intimate with. Oh, and you know that she can see dead people, too, because she has the powers of a Reaper? Yeah, no, that's not gonna work out for anyone. Blythe asks Signa if Elaine seems okay to her, who is unusually humming whilst dishing out their breakfast, but Signa sees no signs of fever. As they are talking, Byron comes stomping in with news that Elijah is being detained for the murder of Lord Wakefield.
While Byron suggests that Signa leave to her estate, Foxglove, Blythe insists her cousin stay because family should stick together. And besides, how would it look for Signa to suddenly leave after Elijah is accused of murder? Byron, who understands the importance of image and reputation, agrees, but tells Signa she must help them. Coincidentally, an invitation arrives for Signa in a golden envelope. The ineffable Miss Signa Farrow is being invited by His Majesty the Prince Oris Dryden of Verena to Wisteria Gardens for his grand ball. Of course, this is no real prince, it's fate, but Signa can hardly tell Blythe and Byron that. They see it as a prime opportunity to gather allies, and for Signa to demonstrate confidence in the family.
Signa locks her suite door, scribbles a note before sticking it in the collar of Gundry, her masquerading hellhound, who is a gift from Death. #1 best doggo, probably, in a long time.
Yes.
And removes 5 dried belladonna berries from a drawer. Belladonna doesn't kill Signa, nothing can, but it does stop her from living long enough to complete certain tasks. And today, she is going to walk through the shadows to Elijah and give him that note. Unfortunately, Signa is not very good at using her powers, and instead of stepping through the shadows, she literally walks straight into the wall, and it is hilarious. And it makes it even better because Death is there watching it all happen.
He has perfect timing.
So good. Though Death does not want Signa to use the belladonna berries because her body is getting too accustomed to them, he does help her get to Elijah's cell. The cell is filthy, and Elijah looks terrible and has been beaten. Elijah thinks Gundry is a hallucination, though he does take the note from his collar. By the weak light from the cell door, Elijah is able to read, "Is there a suspect?" When an asshole guard comes into the cell and throws a hood for Elijah to put on, Elijah is able to mumble that Byron did not speak up for him. Byron has now become the #1 suspect.
Oh. Back in Signa's suite, Death helps Signa calm her rage against the guard and Byron and promises to protect Elijah. Why would Byron do this? For Gray's, the gentleman's club? Changing the subject, Signa asks more about Fate, but Death does not want to talk to her about his brother, who he has not seen since 1346, when he killed the only woman Fate has ever loved. He is his problem to deal with. The golden invitation on her bedside, Death notices, would suggest otherwise, though. Suddenly, as Death stops touching Signa, life floods back into her body, and she is racked by a coughing fit and vomits 3 times. Signa has to admit that happened the previous night, and, this is not good.
No.
Death tells Signa to stop using the belladonna berries, and she stops seeing him and hearing him completely.
No.
No, don't like that.
No. For the next week, Signa tries to find Death as she goes about her investigation of Byron, but it's no use. Byron, as well, has given no clue. He spends his days locked in Elijah's study with ledgers and paperwork. On the day of Prince Aris's ball, Elaine helps Signa dress. When she climbs into the carriage, it isn't Byron who greets her as her escort, but Blythe. Byron, she says, will follow them in another carriage. Blythe is determined to enlist the prince's alliance, and Signa has very little argument against it, just reservations of exposing Blythe to fate.
Wisteria Gardens is beautiful and grand and filled to the brim with erotic art, flowers, and the odd, hateful aristocrat who pretend to be friends. Looking at you, Diana Blackwater.
Oh, Diana, shut up, stupid bitch.
With warnings from Byron to be responsible and respectable, whilst there's penises and
just
vaginas
all over the place.
boobs.
Right in your
Boobs.
face.
Right there. Boobs. Signa and Blythe are left alone. However, they decide to cover more ground by splitting up. This gives Signa the opportunity to put Diana Blackwater in her place for her hateful, ignorant comments. We all applaud.
Yes.
Greet her old friend Charlotte Killinger, and also spot Byron writing his name on Eliza Wakefield's dance card. Who, it must be noted, isn't dressed in the mourning attire one would expect a week after her uncle's murder.
Blythe has left the ballroom and gone snooping around Wisteria to admire the art everywhere. I don't want to admire this art.
No, it's just all.
I admire all the penises.
I mean, no.
All of them.
No.
Yes. A massive portrait of a gorgeous woman with silver eyes has pride of place, and as Blythe is admiring it, Fate, in his Prince Aris disguise, approaches her. They talk, Blythe complimenting Prince Aris on most of his collection, and Aris telling her he can't abide poetry. Blythe also apologizes for her outburst earlier, and Aris all but accuses her of crashing his party. Signa appears then and tries to politely separate Blythe and Aris because, it seems like they're about to just absolutely murder each other. But Blythe is desperate to enlist Aris as an ally for her father. She tells him she needs a partner for the first dance, which Aris would be delighted in being. Signa is not too happy about this interaction. Or is it flirtation? Because it's hard to tell.
It was a bit of both.
Yeah, but also,
it was antagonistic flirtation.
Right? They kind of want to punch each other with their mouths and their penises. Blythe doesn't have a penis.
No. It feels like the definition of enemies to lovers is going to happen.
Yes.
At this point, this is what my feelings are.
Right.
In the story.
Yes.
We will see if this happens, shall we? As back in the ballroom, Signa carefully watches Blythe and Fate dance while the gossip mongers whisper around her. She also spies Byron watching Eliza Wakefield dancing. When Signa is asked to dance, the man who greets her on the dance floor is Fate, and he gives her the opportunity to ask any questions for the duration of the music. Signa asks why he is here, to meet her. One about his brother. He is of no consequence. Signa tells him to leave Blythe alone, but he says her fate was toyed with, and there is a ripple effect that very much demands his attention. As they dance, Fate lets Signa see the facade he has created with Wisteria Gardens and how he can control the other dancers. Eventually, the music comes to an end, and Fate somewhat desperately asks Signa if the music was familiar to her and if she can remember who he is. It does not, and she does not know him. But then, cryptically, Fate says, "We met in another lifetime." Yay, cryptic messages, they're the best.
I don't think they're the best. I think, in fact,
Sarcasm.
that this is ludicrous.
Yeah, 1000%.
Yeah. But then he goes on to insist that Signa was his wife
What? No.
and that she's not a Reaper, but in
Beg to
fact,
differ.
life.
Excuse me, what?
I'm pretty sure he's wrong.
I think he's projecting.
Signa's tapestry threads are unique. They are silver. Fate's are gold, and Death's are black. Signa can't stifle her laugh. But Fate is not amused. Signa manages to pull herself together and offers Fate a bargain. If he reinstates her communication with Death, she will entertain his ridiculous idea that she was his wife in another life. He agrees and allows her communication with Death to be restored in the evening after they have met. He has 1 month to convince Signa, and after that, communication will be restored in full. Fate, however, believes after a month she will no longer want to speak to Death ever again. Pshaw, I say.
Pshaw indeed.
Excuse me. What?
How about no?
Death is...
Whew. Anywho, Blythe is waiting in the carriage and has very little recollection of the evening. Once her cousin is asleep, Signa calls out to Death with her mind, and thankfully he responds. Not knowing how long they will have to talk, Signa asks who Life was. Death speaks reverently about his brother's wife and says he loves her too, but not romantically. She would make new souls and Fate would weave their life, and it was a joyous time. But Life was not immortal like Fate and Death, and she asked Death to help her. Fate begged Death not to help, but Death did not want Life to go, so he didn't, until it was too late, and she experienced the worst death of all. She became the first victim of the Black Death. And 25 million other people died because Death didn't do his job and help Life move on.
Oh.
I'm going to do an insensitive womp womp.
Yeah. Ooh.
Because it's us, but
Right.
yikes.
Yikes. Ooh.
Yikes.
Ooh.
Ugh. Life promised they would be reunited and that she would be reincarnated. But Death has never met Life again. As the conversation changes and becomes flirtatious, Blythe interrupts Signa. She demands to know who Signa is thinking about. She's pretty flushed after all. And Signa tells her Everett Wakefield because she can hardly admit that she's swooning over Death. Blythe wasn't expecting that answer and seems disappointed with it.
I just wish she could be honest. Death.
Boyfriend. Death. What? It's a nickname.
It's not a good nickname. Oh, he's my honeybun. He's my Death.
I mean, coming from you, that sounds right.
Right, it does. The next morning, as Signa is reading a very detailed letter Death left for her about all the things they're gonna do together, Blythe comes bustling into Signa's suite, carrying a massive bouquet of flowers from Aris. Blythe is put out that none of the many bouquets he sent are for her. The note included simply says, "Give me a chance and I shall show you that I'm not the villain here."
Pshaw, I say.
Pshaw, I say again. Blythe tries to see the note, but Signa will not let her. It's a good thing that Elaine interrupts then. She erupts, I said. It's a good thing that Elaine erupts.
So that's why she looked all weird earlier.
Oh,
She's a volcano.
She erupted, that's why. Everett Wakefield has come to visit Cigna, and they need to get her ready. Once dressed and with instructions from Blythe to speak loudly and enunciate so she can listen in, Cigna meets Everett, who is sitting with Byron. Everett apologizes for rashly accusing Elijah and has spoken in his favor for what it's worth. He's also come to invite Cigna and the Hawthorns to his investiture as Duke later that week.
Later, Cigna has decided she needs to investigate Elijah's office and find out what Byron is doing there all day. Eating 5 of her dried belladonna berries, Death greets her in the shadows. He will help her, which is good because Cigna doesn't know how long the berries will work for, and she probably will launch herself through into the wall again. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Save her nose. In the study, Cigna riffles through the papers and finds Byron is investigating Percy's disappearance as a murder, and her name is underlined. Her friend Kathleen Killinger is also noted. As she's carefully looking, Blythe comes in to do just the exact same thing, except she has a key and is much less careful to cover her tracks. Blythe finds an emerald and gold ring deep in one drawer, but is it Elijah's or Byron's? And the notes about Percy's murder. Panic fills Cigna, and suddenly vines and plants sprout everywhere, like in the garden the night of Percy's death. Death whisks Cigna back to her suite, where she calms down. He tells her that her powers have not been seen since life, but that Cigna Farrow is her own person, and he will stand by her side as she discovers her abilities, because he is not so selfless that he is willing to give her up. Swoon.
I know.
Cigna, however, doesn't tell Death everything. When the powers burned through her, she heard the song she and Fate danced to, the one he had asked her to remember.
Oh, this is not looking good. Blythe feels like she's gone mad or has been poisoned again. She fled to her rooms when the plants started to grow in the study, and when she went back to see, nothing was out of place and there were no plants anywhere. Needing to escape Thorngrove, Blythe heads to the stables and recruits a new stable boy as her escort to Charlotte Killinger's house. When she gets there, she spies Charlotte and Everett Wakefield in a compromising situation, but being a friend, loudly announces her arrival to allow Everett to escape. Her concerns with Charlotte turn from friendly to somewhat confrontational when Charlotte recounts what she saw the night Percy disappeared. Percy in the woods, heading to his mother's garden. Then smoke. She also saw Cigna heading toward the smoke. Blythe leaves dissatisfied because surely Cigna had nothing to do with Percy's disappearance. Unfortunately, the seed of doubt has been sown.
Oh. Despite the extreme unlikelihood they will have any visitors, Byron insists Cigna and Blythe be ready to receive guests. The only person who comes to call is Fate, who brings another huge bouquet and suggests he and Cigna take a walk outside together. Ugh. Fate is working on a lot of assumptions based on seeing Cigna as his late wife, such as loving spring and summer. Nope, Cigna likes the colder months. He brings a delicious picnic, and Cigna enjoys it, but surely eating only the best foods must get old and boring. Eventually, and sadly before she can get her hands on the strawberry tart Fate made, Cigna extracts a promise that Fate will do no harm to Blythe, but he refuses to extend his promise to Death. I feel for her. I would have loved to have had that strawberry tart.
Yeah. We all know how much Cigna loves to eat.
She loves her. She's got such a sweet tooth.
She really does. She really, really does. That evening, Death is waiting for Cigna in her room. He's worried about the bargains she has made with Fate. Cigna thinks she's in control, but doesn't fully understand Fate's powers. Cigna reaches for where Death is standing, using Gundry to signal where he is, and grabs onto Death's skin and painfully enters her Reaper state. Together, they go to Wisteria Gardens, which is in ruins, except for the Portrait of Life, which is massive and still in full color. All the penises destroyed.
Thank goodness.
tattered penises.
Everywhere.
Tatters.
And sheds.
Penis
shreds
tatters.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's very little of them because they weren't that big.
Right. I feel really badly just talking about penises all over the place, because it's like, this book is really good and it does not deserve the mention of penis paintings all over the place.
That's on Fate.
I know, and we
is erotic.
We get latched onto things, and I'm worried
But
that we're latched onto penis.
No, this is the last time. Spoilers, it's the last time we go to Wisteria Gardens. In this book.
You're right. You're right.
It's in the third book we should be worried about.
Right, I know, because, it's called Wisteria. Oh, God, okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me, where were we? Wisteria Gardens was built for life and left to rot after her death, a reflection of fate. Behind life's portrait, death shows Signa Fate's secret tapestry room. Threads and tapestries are everywhere. It looks like a factory, the way canvases unravel and the threads separate into baskets. It showcases Fate's powers, and Death implores Signa to keep this in mind and make no more bargains. And she agrees. As they start kissing and things start to get more intimate, they hear Fate returning to Wisteria Gardens. It would not be a good idea to be caught with her skirts hiked up, legs around Death's hips, and his hand between her thighs. So, Death uses his shadows to whisk them away to Thorngrove as Fate enters the tapestry room. So close.
Phew. It's time for Everett's investiture as Duke. Everyone is in attendance as the Queen performs the ceremony, and Everett Wakefield takes on his father's mantle. As they leave the ceremony hall, Signa and Blythe walk out with Charlotte. Charlotte and Everett clearly have something going on between them, as they're doing a terrible job of hiding their looks toward each other. Signa also picks up on the tension between Blythe and herself. Outside, as Diana Blackwater spouts stupid lies about knowing Prince Aris and insinuates he has come to town to court her, Fate walks up and, to Signa's bored questions of, "Oh, you're still here," tells the crowd he will be until Signa accepts his proposal. Signa makes him change it to someone. Fate then suggests everyone play a croquet. Fate is an asshole.
Fate announces they shall play on teams and shall play for a prize, and the prize will be whatever is in his power to grant, such as a kiss. Obviously looking at Signa. Fine. Signa and Blythe will play together while Fate and Everett team up, and their prize will be a recommendation for her father, and Blythe will be given the chance to see him. That's a nice prize. That's
what a prize,
that's
yes.
nicer than a kiss from an asshole.
Then forcing yourself onto somebody who does not want to touch your person.
Yes.
Consent is key.
Death joins the game, and though Signa cannot see or hear him, she feels his coolness. Blythe needs no assistance to win. She's clearly very, very good at croquet. Signa is terrible and needs Death's help. Death also has fun interfering with Everett and his brother, and at one point he makes a breeze catch Blythe's mallet and causes it to hit Fate squarely in the junk, and it is hilarious, and he falls over, and it's so good. It's like beautiful. Yes.
It's majestic.
Unfortunately, he manages to pull himself back together.
Boom.
Death is unable to stay much longer, but that doesn't matter, as Blythe kicks Fate's butt. He tells the cousins they shall see Elijah before dawn the next day.
In the garage, Blythe is wary of Signa. She saw shadows helping her during the croquet game. Shadows that Signa talked to. The same shadows she saw when she was ill. Blythe confronts her cousin, but instead of being told she's mad or paranoid, Signa takes Blythe's hand and instead tells her she has something to show her, and takes her to the stable into a newborn foal who hasn't got long left to live.
Signa takes the remaining belladonna berries and eats them, willing that Blythe can still see her in her Reaper form. Signa then reaches down and touches the foal, taking its life. On seeing this, Blythe demands that Signa bring him back. Signa protests, but something inside changes and she grows warm. Death's voice fades, and the foal begins to breathe again.
Ah, zombie.
Blythe says she didn't mean the horse, she meant her brother. And then she asks Signa if Percy is alive. When Signa confirms her suspicions, Blythe tells her cousin to leave Thorngrove and rushes from the stables, leaving Signa devastated. But luckily, Death is still with her and offers her comfort. Signa needs to feel wanted and not alone, and though they can't physically touch, Death finds a way to give Signa the closeness and the orgasm she needed.
By morning, Signa is gone to Foxglove. Blythe and Byron go to visit Elijah, who looks terrible. The brothers snipe at each other, Byron not concerned about Elijah's guilt or innocence with only a week to go until the trial. He thinks of other matters, such as Greers. They are more important. Elijah seems disappointed that Signa has not visited and left Thorngrove, which puts Blythe out. She can solve the mystery as well as her cousin, regardless of her supernatural abilities. Pacha. Blythe stops her father and uncle from continuing their bickering and turns the conversation to suspects.
Foxglove Manor is not the welcoming seaside estate they had hoped for when Signa, Elaine, and Gundry arrive. It has suffered from 20 years of neglect, and now a storm is rolling in. Great.
Goody.
Signa tries to be cheerful. She'll advertise for a full staff and make it a home, but, it's a bit of a stretch. Elaine goes to pick out a room in the servants' quarters, while Signa and Gundry look for a suite themselves. As Signa is inspecting the manor, she can sense a spirit, but Gundry doesn't seem concerned. In a bedroom, Signa curls around Gundry as the storm hits, falling asleep with her hellhound. Oh, 100% good doggo.
Definitely. Signa is woken to pressure at her neck as the spirit of an old woman tries to choke her. As Signa nears death, she is able to enter her Reaper state and fights off the old woman's spirit just as Death appears to help her. Signa leaves the spirit to Death's judgment as she goes to check on Elaine, who is comfortably in the kitchen drinking coffee. As Elaine tries to assuage Signa's worries, she looks frightened, and then they hear piano music. Elaine offers to investigate with Signa, but she declines. In the parlour, Signa finds a family of ghosts, a mother, a father, and a young girl. They talk about her as if Signa can't see and hear them, and they're really rather rude.
They're also kind of hilarious.
Oh, yes, it's proper comedy moment. Well, Signa can hear them and can see them, and she tells them to stop playing the piano and do ghostly things at Foxglove and to leave Elaine alone. The spirit family are quite put out by this and say none of them will go near Elaine because her skin is strange and she has a weird glow. They also tell Signa there are about 20 ghosts in the manor, most likely to haunt the ballroom, which makes sense given the mass death that happened when Signa was a baby.
Oh, yeah. Remember everyone. Literally, everyone died in that room.
Womp womp.
Blythe is hosting her first afternoon tea since her mother's death. Charlotte, Eliza, and Diana are in attendance. Blythe's primary goal is to gather information that will help her father, and though little seems to be revealed, she does receive confirmation that Byron is courting Eliza, though Eliza doesn't seem serious about the match. Diana is her usual callous self, while Blythe and Charlotte begin mending their friendship. When Eliza announces that her cousin Everett is hosting a fox hunting party the following day to help her meet eligible men, Blythe asks to come. With reluctance and Charlotte's warning that it's a terrible sport, Eliza agrees.
Signa ventures to the ballroom and is greeted by a beautiful spirit, one who she saw in a portrait with her mother when she arrived. The spirit introduces herself as Amity, her mother's best friend and Signa's godmother. Amity is delighted to finally meet Signa. She's been waiting so long for her to return home. There are other ghosts in the ballroom too, including Briar, her face half caved in from a fall, and many other ghosts dancing, gossiping and taking tea. All of them, Amity says, are stuck in a loop and likely don't realise they are dead. Amity also has something to show Signa and takes her outside to an overgrown garden. It was designed by her father for her mother and was just seeded before they died. Signa is happy she has the garden, somewhere she can freely practice and play with her powers without being seen. Foxglove is starting to feel like home.
Blythe, dressed uncomfortably and sitting side saddle, is ready for the hunt, though she hangs to the back of the group with Eliza and Fate in his Aris disguise. Aris asks if Signa will be joining them, and Eliza, eager to spread gossip, tells him Signa has suddenly returned to Foxglove. Blythe gives no further information, only confirming it's true. Clearly, Aris is annoyed by this turn of events. Bluntly, she asks Eliza about Everett's prospects for a wife, and Eliza tells her he asked his father to marry a girl, but he deemed it an unsuitable match, so the affair ended. But she suspects he has rekindled or found someone else. It seems only Blythe knows of Everett's relationship with Charlotte, so could that be a reason to kill his father? Suddenly, Eliza takes ill and rushes back to the manor, leaving Blythe and Aris alone. Aris, hearing something, silences Blythe. Off his horse, he follows the sound, Blythe coming along a few moments later, and they find a black fox kit cowering in a burrow surrounded by blood. Aris and Blythe return to the manor with the kit, intending to put it in Blythe's carriage. Blythe suddenly realizes she didn't see the prince's carriage and has never heard of the prince or the county of Verena, where he claims to be from, and also that she has little recollection of the night of the ball. Blythe saves those thoughts for later, especially since it seems Eliza might have taken seriously ill as they see her horse being returned to the stable.
Blythe enters the manor and runs into Eliza's lady's maid, Saoirse, carrying a tray of tea. Saoirse tells Blythe Eliza is suffering from headaches, and they've gotten worse since her uncle's death. Blythe offers to take the tea to Eliza and sit with her for a while, but really she wants to test the tea to make sure Eliza isn't being poisoned, and Saoirse agrees. Once alone with the tea, Blythe struggles to take a sip since it hasn't been that long since she recovered from her own poisoning. Aris comes along then, and she tells him her hesitation, so Aris offers to help. He takes a swig of the tea and not kisses Blythe, tongue and all. Blythe tastes ginger but also sighs into the not kiss. When they part, Aris is quick to remind Blythe it was definitely a not kiss. It's a not kiss. Taking the tea to Eliza, Blythe finds her asleep, having had laudanum, and notices a vial in her hand similar to something from an apothecary. It is then that Eliza seems to change as Elaine did, turning corpse-like and skeletal. But Aris interrupts this hallucination or vision or whatever it is. Quickly, Blythe memorises the apothecary vial and leaves.
Signa has gone into town to put an advertisement into the paper for staff at Foxglove. The newspaper man gives her an unwarranted warning about it being filled with ghosts, just as Signa spots a ghost boy who sees her at the same time. The boy, Henry, was lost at sea, and his mother sits on the pier every day in her grief. Like Signa did for Lillian and Elijah in order to help them both move on, Signa shares a message with Henry's mother. Signa feels death come to collect Henry as she holds his weeping mother.
Meanwhile, on the morning of Elijah Hawthorne's sentence, Blythe goes to Wisteria Gardens to make a deal with Aris. If he will help save her father, she will marry him. Aris rejects the offer, despite Blythe's long list of qualities, but instead offers to help if she can assist him in marrying Signa. Aris then uses his powers to make Blythe tell the truth as to why Signa has gone to Foxglove, and she tells him everything about the fall. The use of Blythe's powers is the confirmation Fate needed, though he doesn't realise Blythe could tell he was manipulating her until she confronts him. It seems her 3 near-death experiences have allowed her to see through the veil, which is why she can sense death when he's with Signa. Fate gives Blythe a small tapestry with instructions that Signa must willingly put a drop of her blood on it, making it a binding marriage contract. Blythe pockets the tapestry, ready to do what it takes. She lost her brother, and she refuses to lose her father too.
Signa is in the wildflower garden trying to use her life powers, but absolutely nothing is happening, and her frustration is clearly evident when she snaps at Amity, who is watching on. At Amity's suggestion to look for a common thread each time she used her life powers, Signa thinks of heat, and inside Foxglove, she almost sits inside the hearth. It doesn't work. A cold wind blows, signifying Death's arrival, but this one is reminiscent of when he came for Blythe, not when he's come for dances or embraces. Death brings news that Elijah has been found guilty and will be hanged in 2 weeks. In Gundry's collar, Death has placed a note with other news. Blythe suspects the Wakefields, Charlotte and Everett, have been courting for months. Eliza has taken ill, but her illness doesn't appear to be caused by anyone. Byron has locked himself in his study since the verdict, and Death loves her and assures her they will save Elijah. Signa tells Death aloud to find Fate and bring him to Foxglove.
Fate arrives at Foxglove, and Signa has made no special preparation for him, not even calling for tea.
That is a burn.
Love it. Love it. Signa asks Fate to teach her how to use life's powers, so he tells her to clearly visualise what she wants and will it to happen. However, nothing happens when she tries to bring a dead rose back to life. They start sniping at each other, and Signa calls Fate selfish and admits she doesn't want to use life's powers, but she will to bring Elijah back if he is hanged. This concerns both Fate and Death. Fate refuses to teach her if that is her intention, and tells her if she cannot go to Thorngrove, then she must bring the people to her and host a party. Fate leaves and Death becomes visible to Signa. They can't trust Fate. He's always playing some strategy. But they will play to the end.
Blythe has received Signa's invitation to the ball. She believes her cousin is under Death's influence and believes everything Fate has told her. Despite all her sleuthing, she has no evidence and can't openly accuse Everett. Blythe sends a note to Aris telling him of Signa's ball and that she, with the tapestry, will be in attendance, but she wants Aris to accompany her. He replies quickly, saying he would not miss it for the world.
It's the day of the ball. Foxglove has been scrubbed, dusted and cleaned from top to bottom, and the family of ghosts, Tilly, Victoria and Oliver, have been told to be on their best behaviour. Signa is wearing a burnished gold gown as her armour against fate. Before going to greet her guests, Signa asks Amity to take her to her parents' room. Signa takes her time to investigate, realising she has her mother's tastes and her father's curiosity. Death appears in his human form, and as Signa is holding him, she realises he has come for someone, and he admits it's Eliza Wakefield. Ooh.
Blythe has arrived at Foxglove with Byron, but they soon separate, and Aris, who seems a little tipsy, greets her and checks that she has the tapestry. She does, but isn't going to admit it is tucked into her corset. Blythe is constantly vigilant for Death. Sure, he's controlling Signa and behind the Hawthorns' misfortunes. An extremely sickly-looking Eliza Wakefield enters with Everett and Charlotte, who is wearing a large smile and an equally large engagement ring. Signa makes her entrance then, and everyone goes up to the ballroom.
Around her, Signa can see the spirits of Foxglove coming out of their loops, but not yet realising they are dead. As she scans the ballroom for Fate, Henry's mother approaches and thanks Signa for helping. She is glad Signa has come to help the spirits of Foxglove. Signa goes up to Fate, who is dancing with another man, and he takes her hand and they begin to waltz. While Fate is determined that Signa remember any recollection she may have means nothing, as the spirits of Foxglove wake up and could cause chaos and harm. Signa asks Fate for his help to pause the living people in attendance so that she may calm the spirits, and with reluctance he does, but only for 20 minutes. Signa goes to Briar, who was starting to remember her death on the banister, with Amity trying to calm her and make her see her. Eventually, Signa is able to calm spirits, most leaving with Death, including Amity and Briar, when she explains that they are dead. But this is only the beginning of their story. When Death returns to the ballroom, he follows Eliza, who is fleeing. Signa sees this, catches Blythe's eye, and they follow after.
I love Amity and Briar.
Yes, it's so sweet.
So sweet.
Now they're together.
Yes, yes. Eliza is on her knees, throwing up in the garden, holding her stomach and clutching the herbs. Signa and Blythe have followed her out and grabbed the herbs from her and see that they're the ones that you give to a pregnant woman.
Oh.
Lifting Eliza's skirts, Signa's guess is confirmed. Eliza's undergarments are soaked with blood. Eliza won't say who the father is, but Signa and Blythe work it out. It's Percy.
Oh.
Which is why Byron has been so intent on finding him. And the pregnancy is the reason Eliza has been so desperate to marry. Death has arrived and tells Signa if she doesn't do something soon, both mother and child will be lost. Signa tries to use life's power. It burns her, as it has before, and she has flashes of memories of life and fate together. When the pain and heat recede, Eliza and her baby are better, though Eliza may still be in danger.
Eliza admits that her uncle had matched her with Sir Bennet, a horrible, wrinkly old man, and she couldn't stand the thought of having to bed him.
Ugh.
She tried to give Sir Bennet the cyanide and the champagne, but Elijah picked up the flute and handed it to her uncle. She meant to incapacitate Sir Bennet, not kill her uncle, so Signa offers Eliza a place at Foxglove for her and her baby. Byron comes outside then and collects Eliza, taking her into the house. Once Signa and Blythe are together, they realise the truth won't save Elijah. Blythe pulls out the tapestry and insists that Signa fix her mess and marry Aris.
Signa confronts Blythe about Aris. It's clear he has not told her everything, like who he really is, and has twisted the stories he's told her to his own ends. She tells her cousin she doesn't know it, but Death helped save her time and again. Unfortunately, Blythe is unmoved and won't relent, so Signa must take the tapestry and agree to Aris's terms. When she takes the tapestry from Blythe, it burns her, and the pain is excruciating.
Inside Foxglove, Fate is enjoying the evening when Death comes for him and wraps his shadows around his brother's throat, summoning his scythe. Signa and Blythe come into the ballroom, noticing the guests have stopped like Fate's marionette puppets. Signa tells Fate he will have himself a bride, but Fate must agree that she can see and touch Death without harm, and that Elijah will be free the moment the oath is made. In the meantime, she also wants one more night with Death. Fate isn't happy about her terms, but they agree with a blood oath. Signa takes Death to her bedroom then, leaving the party to Blythe and Fate, while she and Death enjoy each other for one more night. Ho ho, they have fun.
Ooh. Blythe's conscience is screaming at her. She remembers something she overheard Death say. He would have killed her. She saw the look on Signa's face and knows she's truly in love with Death, and she is ripping her cousin from that. Blythe is feeling hotter and wants everyone at the ball to go home when she spots Aris being all smug over on the side. Confronting him, Aris gives her non-answers before sweeping her up into a dance. It's then Blythe realizes Aris is Fate, and he's playing them all. She also realizes that her brother Percy killed their mother and was trying to kill her, and she's made a huge mistake. She needs the party to stop, shouting at Fate to get everyone out as heat lances through her, and she flees the ballroom.
Morning comes too quickly. Signa dresses in a black morning dress as Death suggests they kill his brother or, frame someone else for Elijah's freedom. Both ideas she rejects because for her, Blythe and Elijah are worth the sacrifice. Downstairs, Fate has the tapestry laid out next to a switchblade. Death and Fate go at each other straight away as Blythe enters, still dressed in her ball gown. Blythe asks Cigna why she killed her brother, and Cigna is honest in her response that it was for her. Cigna takes hold of the switchblade, Death and Fate finally noticing that she's next to the tapestry, and cuts her finger. Before Cigna can drop the blood on it, Blythe grabs the tapestry and holds it over the open fire in the hearth. Fate shouts at her to stop, but he's powerless. Blythe tells him he agreed to allow Death and Cigna to have one more night to free her father, and he would have his bride. But she expected more from him. When he asks why, Blythe cuts her hand on the iron poker and spills her blood on the tapestry. She expected him to specify the bride. Oh.
This makes the 4th time Blythe has bested Fate. Golden bands encircle their ring fingers and golden threads connect them. She's not really concerned when Fate snarls and snaps at her, and is in fact rather smug in her victory, and tells Fate her father is to be released that afternoon. Even when Fate tells her she will regret this, Blythe kisses his cheek and tells him not to worry. He has the rest of his life to make it up to her. Fate storms off, and Blythe approaches her cousin. All is forgiven, and everything is better now. There are no lies or hidden truths. Blythe knows Aris is Fate, and she is confident she will beat him again and break their oath. But in the meantime, she has the freedom of a married woman, and is now a princess at that. Blythe is going to ready herself to leave for home and extends an invitation to Cigna to return to Thorngrove to visit.
After Blythe leaves, Death and Cigna embrace. As they're rolling around on the floor, Tilly and Victoria pop their heads into the room and ask Cigna to keep better company. The man was far too bright for their eyes. There is another who glows too, just like the lady's maid, the lady upstairs asleep. That can only be Eliza. Could it be the healing magic of life causing Elaine and Eliza to glow? But Cigna has never healed Elaine. Suddenly, the common denominator strikes Cigna. Blythe. Considering the slash Blythe made on the poker, none of her blood is anywhere, and when Death holds the poker, it burns him. Blythe is the reincarnation of life. They agree not to tell Blythe for now. Blythe and Fate need to figure out their story themselves, but in the meantime, Cigna needs to show Death around their new home. And probably have sex in every single room.
Yes. 2 months later, Everett and Charlotte have a wedding. Blythe has been distracted in the months since Foxglove with memories that are not hers, where she's very much in love and having many very passionate embraces with a faceless man, and of a song she cannot get out of her head, but knows all the dance steps to. Eliza and Byron are married, and the child is due soon. The official story is that they were married months ago, and the baby is his, but with her uncle's death and Elijah's imprisonment, it was deemed inappropriate to announce it. Their marriage is one of convenience. Byron loved Percy and wants Percy's child raised as a Hawthorne. In truth, Eliza's uncle either wanted rid of the baby or for Eliza to be married to Sir Bennet. Cigna and Blythe realized that Byron was the one to dose Lord Wakefield's drink with cyanide, but Lord Wakefield's death was deemed accidental with his rank and status, causing the overcautious determination of murder. Prince Aris is also attending the wedding and raises a toast to the happy couple and announces his own engagement to Miss Blythe Hawthorne. This makes Elijah make a beeline straight for the prince, as it's the first he's heard of an engagement, and Blythe offers Fate her condolences with a sweet wave. Death's laughter rings out from the shadows, and he whispers to Cigna, "And now the show begins." Oh, what? What? Oh, man.
That's a good last line. That's a good last line.
It's a good last line. Wow. Okay, everyone, think on that for a minute. Listen to this promo for another show, and then come straight back so we can dig in.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And talk about death.
Yes.
What's up, fellow book nerds? It's time to feed your fiction shelf addiction. Hear book club style roundtables, bookish chats, and more. Join Tamara and her friends for fantasy and thriller read-alongs and other shenanigans over on the Shelf Addiction podcast. Listen now on your podcatcher of choice. Subscribe for free, and you too can have a shelf addiction.
Okay. Okay.
Well now. Well.
Welly, well.
There was so much.
So much.
And it was so different from Belladonna.
Yes.
And it did feel like a continuation of the story rather than a sequel, which I enjoyed immensely.
Yes.
But my favourite part, my absolute favourite part, was Blythe hitting Fate in the junk with the croquet like a sack of shit.
It was so good.
I read that bit while I was on holiday on the sofa eating croissants with a coffee by myself. Husband and child were still in bed, and it was just this perfect lovely moment of just enjoying a lakeside view, having some peace and quiet, and then Blythe hitting Fate in the junk.
So good.
It was brilliant.
That was also my favorite part. Just the best.
Oh God.
It was the
so
best. It was so good.
I'm glad Death managed to get that in there.
Yes. Yeah. I like the bickering and the back and forth between Blythe and Fate, and like, aw, you two are supposed to be in love. But yeah.
I'm going to jump ahead just a tiny little bit.
Okay.
Because you just mentioned something.
Okay.
So I really did enjoy the bickering between Fate and Blythe. I really did enjoy that.
Yes.
But I actually lost a lot of respect for Blythe in this book.
Me too.
I mean, Fate is obviously a huge knobhead.
Yes.
He was a massive knobhead throughout this entire thing.
Yes.
He's not, to me, a likeable character.
No.
There may be some redemption in Wisteria. Don't know. Haven't read it yet. But I lost a lot of respect for Blythe because she listened to Oris, Fate as Oris,
right,
before she even talked to her cousin. Like, it's one of our big things. Communication is key, and communication between
definitely.
Blythe and Signa at this point was completely missing.
Right.
And even when Signa opened up to Blythe and was being honest with her,
she just got mad. She just got mad and sent her away, and that was frustrating.
Yeah, it's like, well, talk to her, find out. There's got to be a reason. Have a conversation.
Yeah.
God damn it! Because before then, Blythe seemed fairly reasonable in that regard. Like, I say reasonable. She seemed very sensible. She had, she's got her head screwed on, and I think now,
right,
having realised that she's being played so much by Fate, and that she can trust Signa, and she can trust Death. Death has no facade. Death is death.
Death is death.
Death is death.
And I love him.
And I adore him with my entire heart.
Yes.
Again, spoilers, favourite character still.
Right, always.
But yeah, always Death. But I lost a lot of respect for Blythe.
Yeah.
Even though I enjoyed her sniping. And did she start redeeming herself in the epilogue when you could see?
Yeah.
She's you know what, has she started redeeming herself? I want to say yes.
I hope so. Can I tell you, I'm so glad that Signa is not Life, because that just
God, yes.
that makes, like, they were trying to set it up like that at the beginning, which I didn't see at all. Like, no, it's totally Blythe. It is 100% Blythe. As soon as they mentioned the color of Life's hair, I was like, oh, it's Blythe. It's obviously going to be Blythe. And I'm very, very glad of that, because if it had been Cigna, and Cigna's the main character and she's special, and now she's even more special because she's Life, I would have been so mad. Like,
I would have been so angry. Weak. It would have been weak storytelling.
It would have been. But now she's, as far as we know, she's just a Reaper, and she can just go and fuck shit up with death, and they can have a great time.
I adore the fact that she is just a Reaper. I want to be just a Reaper.
Right.
I love that. I am so glad that she is not Life.
Yes. Same.
I agree. I'd have been so pissed off.
But I knew it. I knew immediately. Like, they're trying to set this up and all of this stuff happening. Like, no, it's totally Blythe. And, like, it's a little weird that like, Cigna is able to use those powers. But, she siphons Life away. So, obviously, she's going to suck some of those powers out, and she can use them while they're, there together. It makes sense that she, if she touches people, she kills them. So she's got a little bit of a...
It was a terrible red herring.
Right. Yes.
And I feel like, as the reader, knowing, no, that's just silly. You're along for the ride of finding, of them finding it out. Because you're like, no, don't do that to us. Don't do that. And that's not at all what happened. It was fantastic. Blythe could touch the tapestry. She was carrying it around with her between her skin and the corset.
Yes.
Without harm. And the second that Cigna touches it, she's screaming out in unbearable pain.
Yes.
Life's powers caused her so much pain and anxiety. The idea and the thought of her using them and having to experience that unbearable pain.
Yeah.
That's not life.
Nah.
Yes, childbirth is painful. I will grant you that. But not the way that it was described. No. Life's powers are.
Yeah, no.
It's a Reaper experiencing her polar opposite.
Yes, and that's going to be
hurt.
Horrible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My only question is, in the end of Belladonna and all of Lillian's garden overgrows, how's Blythe doing that? Or is it Cigna channeling Blythe's powers?
Could be.
Because she's weakened from the poison. I that's my biggest thing, is like, I don't understand. Yeah, Blythe is the common denominator, it's obvious, but at the same time, there was that one incident in Lillian's garden at the end of Belladonna.
Yeah.
That didn't quite make sense.
I wonder if it has anything to do with Percy? Because Percy is her brother.
Half brother, biologically half. I don't know. That's the only thing that kind of didn't make much sense to me.
I don't know.
I'm interested to find out though, or I might need to read through our summary again to see if we do mention Elaine in the first one, because Elaine's got that weird skeletal thing. Then the Tilly and Victoria mentioned that she's glowing, but also that Eliza's now glowing, which could be Life's powers. But then they also mentioned that it's Fate that's the glowy man.
Yeah.
So, is the glowing because of something that Blythe's done, or is it something to do with Fate?
I don't know. I think that we will figure that out in Wisteria. I think that these are very good little bits of things that are thrown in to make you question what is actually going on, and I think that we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
By the end of the last book.
Yeah. I do like the last line though. Like, I mean, it's a way to end the story. Now the show begins.
Yeah.
But feels like, at least with Wisteria, Cigna and Death are going to take somewhat of a back seat.
Yeah.
Still be prominent characters, but the story's not going to centre around them. It's going to centre around Blythe and Fate.
Yeah.
So we're not having to worry about those two characters
Right.
per se.
I hope that they're just
They get to watch Blythe and Fate
yeah.
going on.
I hope that they're just there in the background, you know, having a grand old time, enjoying themselves for once and not
Yes.
having to stress about anything. And just
you know, reaping spirits.
Yes.
Having sex around Foxglove.
Yes.
And eating popcorn, watching Blythe rip Fate a new one.
Yes.
And I really do hope that Blythe teaches Fate a lesson, because he is an absolute prick.
He really is. He is.
There was nothing that redeemed. There was no action that he did. There was nothing he did that redeemed himself.
No.
Even when he rescued the fox kit, I was like, yeah, okay, do something more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're a prick.
Yes.
I'm glad that Everett and Catherine are together.
Yes. I am glad that even though I don't really love Percy, you know, much at all. I'm glad that everything worked out okay with that, and the baby, and no one had to marry a wrinkly old man, and all of that was taken care of.
Yeah, it showed a softer side to Byron as well.
Yeah.
It also kind of, I feel like the cast of characters is somewhat being either swapped around a little bit or reduced down, that were not so dependent on Thorngrove.
Yeah.
With Elijah and Byron and Eliza now, we don't need to worry about them there. Elaine's moved to Foxglove, so that if in the next instalment it centres over Foxglove and Wisteria Gardens, then we're not losing out on anybody's story threads.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're getting some nice.
We're already
Things are tied up.
tightening up the tapestry.
Yes, which is good, which is very good. Because that's the concern when you have a story like this, any story like this, where there's quite a cast of characters, that it can be loose and so many questions, and it's not satisfying at the end.
Yeah.
But I think Adalyn Grace, just from Belladonna and Foxglove, is a very smart writer.
Yeah.
I've picked up her other two books, actually. First one's got the word teeth in it, so I know you'd like
All
them.
the stars and teeth.
Yes.
Yes.
So I actually bought those. Bought those this week. So I'm excited to read those as well, and they're YA, so it might be something we might want to delve into.
I mean,
in the
it
future.
involves teeth, so I'm sure we will.
It involves teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's a smart enough writer that she would tie up some loose threads, and then we don't have to worry about them. If they're not in, they're not in. We know that they're off, what they're off doing, which I think is the main thing. It's really good. Yeah, potentially this one was a little bit more frustrating than Belladonna.
Yeah.
In terms of the mystery. The mystery was not the murder of Lord Wakefield.
Yeah. I didn't feel
you had
very
thoughts about that, though, did you? You said at the beginning you
Well,
had thoughts.
I just didn't.
And you wanted to...
I was. I mean, it's just the whole thing with life. Like, I never once thought that it was really Cigna. So, like, that's not a mystery to me. What's going on with her powers, and who is life, and what does this mean for her and death? Like, nah. Not a mystery. Because it's not her. It's Blythe.
It's not her, it's Blythe, and Fate is messing shit up.
Yes.
Oh, God, he just makes me so mad.
Yeah. Yeah, he needed to get hit in the crotch several more times with several more things.
You can imagine he has his perfect nose as well. That also needs to be broken.
Yes. Yeah. I hope that happens.
when he was at the ball, the Foxglove, and he was drunk, and he's twirling around and acting an absolute fool, and you're like, you knew bringing the ball to Foxglove was going to wake up the ghosts, and it was going to cause chaos.
Yeah.
But when the ghosts wake up, as a reminder to people who might have forgotten from Belladonna or haven't read Foxglove yet, when ghosts wake up from the loop, or when they start to relive their deaths,
Bad stuff.
or are given any kind of reminders that are emotionally charged,
horrible things happen.
Horrible things happen. And Fate set that up
on purpose. Yeah, he's shitty. He's horrible.
He's an absolute shit.
He is.
Just...
Yeah.
You know what, mate? Go back to Asteria Gardens and your penis art.
Yeah. Just go and look at penises. Nobody wants you here.
No. I cannot wait to see Blythe put him through the ringer.
Yeah. I hope that at the end of Wisteria, like, that it wraps up nicely, but I really don't want things to end well with Fate. I want him to be looking at penises all by himself, sad and alone.
Yeah, I've got to that it would be number one, but I've got a sneaking suspicion it's going to be an enemies to lovers.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, Blythe, she's already got the hots for him. She basically proposed to him once.
Yes. And it was hilarious. Him turning her down was so funny. He's like, no, I'm not interested in any of that. She's like, but I'm so good and I have all of this stuff. And he's like, nah.
Well, to be fair, in her head, she's also going, but I'll make a terrible wife. Yeah. I know I'll make a terrible wife.
Oh, I'm going to suck at this.
But then, so there's that. Then there's the not kiss.
Yes.
He's like, this is not a kiss.
Yeah, it was. It was, though, but it was.
Oh, the entire lead up to that was like, they're just going to kiss. He's going to kiss her. He's going to drink it. He's going to kiss her.
Right.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then the actual betrothal, that do appreciate Elijah's like, what the hell?
Yeah, excuse me. What is happening here?
I do hope there's a scene with Elijah and Fate, and Elijah's ripping Fate a new one about not asking permission beforehand and all that kind of traditional garbage.
I do like that. Like, I was frustrated with Blythe a lot through this book. Like you said, you lost respect for her. Like, I didn't love her, but I did really appreciate how she was very clever and Fate was very stupid and, very full of himself and expecting everything to work out the way he wants it to, because he's Fate and that's what he does. But I appreciated the way Blythe was like, you should have used your words better because now we're married. Ha ha ha.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's it. Like I said, I lost respect for Blythe, but it was merely in her interactions with Cigna and the fact that she believed Fate Lazarus over Cigna.
Right, like...
and didn't have that conversation.
It's her family, and they've been together for so long, and Cigna has helped her so much.
Yeah. So that frustrated me.
It was disappointing.
It was. I also that Blythe was like, well, I can investigate just as well as Cigna can. Can you?
Can you, though?
Can you, though? Are you able to?
Are you able to walk through walls? Well, no, Cigna's not
Pshaw, I say.
Pshaw, I say.
Pshaw. Yeah. No, I mean, even Elijah knows something's up with Cigna.
Yeah.
Something's different about Cigna.
Yeah. Like, oh, she's not here. Oh, dang it.
Yeah, Byron suspects there's something different about Cigna. And they both accept it and want to utilise it, to help the family.
Yeah.
Blythe's the only... I think it's... the problem is, and it's not a problem, Blythe is a strong, independent woman who wants to get shit done herself.
Yeah.
and not rely on family or men to do it.
Yeah.
And she's been ill for so very long that now she's finally better. It's her time to be able to prove it.
Yeah.
And I think it's challenging her own self-worth and her place in the Hawthorne family, that her father and uncle are looking to Signa, who's been there for 6 months, and not Blythe, who's been there for X amount of years. So I think there's a certain level of frustration which is completely human.
Yes.
So yeah, okay, I'm saying I've lost a bit of respect for Blythe, but I think it's coming back. You know, it dipped, it's coming back,
right,
because she is going to make fate work.
Yeah, she is.
And just from the last couple of chapters, yeah, she's willing to do it. You know, she's willing to take the hit, and she's willing to put the work in.
Yeah.
And I can't fault that.
No.
And it was done for love of family, and again, I can't fault that.
Yeah. She
didn't realise Percy was murdering her.
No. It did bother me, though, that Signa was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to marry him. I'm gonna have to do it because Blythe's so important to me. Whatever. So I'm glad that didn't happen, because that bothered me a little bit.
Yeah. Like, Death never gave up on the relationship at all, one bit.
Right.
And Signa didn't, to an extent, until the very end, when she was like, the only thing that can be done is this.
Yeah. And she, we'll get out of it. It'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine. And she did the entire time. Anytime fate made her do something, she's like, but you're going to give me Death, and you're going to let me see him, and you're going to let me touch him, and whatever I want to do. So I did appreciate that, but it did bum me out when she was like, okay, so I'm just going to do this. Like, she resigned herself.
And morning dress, which I really liked.
Which was hilarious. So many, funny, ridiculous things happened in this book.
Yeah.
Very good.
There was a bit there where Signa gets Fate to promise not to hurt Blythe as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that may come into play at some point, that he's bound by a bargain he made.
Yeah.
Which, again, a lot of it seems to be outsmarting his bargain.
He's not very smart.
No.
He gets caught up in a lot of things.
I get a jock, kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a jock and Death's class president.
Yes. And he's always gotten everything he wants. And so he doesn't even have to try. He doesn't have to try to figure things out. Everything's just going to work out the way it's supposed to. But no.
He's just the golden boy, and Death's the class president emo kid.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Death. I love him so much.
His loyalty to Signa is just amazing.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing to have a character that is 100% on the side of their partner,
mm-hmm. and
also wants to support their partner. And he's like, I'm not giving up on this relationship. If you want to investigate life's powers, I will help you as much as I can. I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
But we are still in this together. But also, he consent is a big thing for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
He asks permission.
Yeah.
And it's refreshing to have that kind of chivalrous.
Yeah.
That's chivalry to me.
He's so swoon worthy.
He really is. He is. I think what you just say. You said he's our honeybun.
Yes.
Our honeybun Death.
Yes.
He is, and it's just so nice. And he's just. I mean, he's got shadows. That's hot.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, and you know he's like so just dark and mysterious.
He's chiseled.
Oh. Mm.
And he finds the funny moments as well, like watching Signa
Walk straight into the wall.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He's just like, hi, I'm here. I saw the whole thing.
I saw everything. In fact, I nipped to the future. I have a camcorder.
It's very good.
It's now on this thing called social media. Wait
Yeah.
around, you'll find out it's going to be big.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it's safe to say that Death is always going to be our favourite
Yes.
character in these.
I'm a little bit worried with Wisteria, and like we've predicted that Signa and Death are gonna take a back seat, and it just makes me sad because I love Death so much. Like, am I still gonna get little tastes?
Yeah, I think we will. But I think it's going to be without the anxiety that Fate's going to worm his way in.
Yeah.
And be an arsehole.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna worm his way into other things and be an asshole in other ways, but he's not gonna bother Signa and Death anymore, which will be nice.
Yeah, because, I mean, as much as he might still think that Signa is the reincarnation of life, he's a married man. It's legally binding.
Yes.
It's him going to be trying to work out how to undo one of his
Yes.
bargains.
How do I get out of this? Okay. Is it time?
I think it's time. We asked on social media, would you rather have the powers of death or life? On Facebook, life won with 57%. On Instagram, life won with 80%. And on TikTok, it was 50-50. Okay. Comments. Colin on Facebook said, now this is a toughie. Yes, indeed you do. See, I believe I already have the power of life and death. I've been at least semi-involved in the creation of a life, although I've got to admit I didn't do a lot of the heavy lifting those first 9 months, but I was intimately involved in the first 3, and I've been there the rest of the time. Death is easy. You're a knob. Bash on the head with a heavy thing. Dead. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm not sure I'd need these powers, but I suppose there is option C, so I've got to choose one or the other, so I'm going to go with death. But a specific personification death. Death from the Sandman. She does good work, and I like to think that when it's my time, she'll come to ease me over before passing me off to Discworld's Death to take me where I need to go.
I like it. Claire on Facebook says life because I struggle to keep plants alive, and I once tried to nurse a baby mole back to life. It was dead. I was 9. So to have that power at my fingertips would be amazing. Sorry, Claire. I love that
Katrina.
aside. I love that thing. It was dead. I was 9.
Oh, Netflix, make a TV show, you cowards. Katrina on Facebook said, I would choose life. That would be such a hopeful power. Death would mean you were surrounded by it, possibly seeing grieving relatives too, and it's just all very sad and depressing, and I don't want that to be my life. So yes, giving life would be my choice.
Emily on Facebook said life because I would love to be involved with growing and hope.
And Brie Tart on Instagram said life would be really handy. I'd have an army of undying kitties. Which is a fair use of the power.
Sure.
I, on the other hand, am picking death.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, I feel like we don't even have to, like, explain the reasons why at this
Please
point.
see the many hours of swooning over death.
Yes. And every other time that we have chosen the evilness and the darkness and all the things that are horrible.
And I'm not even sorry.
Not sorry at all.
Oh, how cool would it be to say, yeah, I'm a Reaper.
Yep.
Womp womp.
And you know what? I would try a little bit harder than Signa to, learn how to use my powers so I wouldn't bash myself straight into a wall. I would be better at it. Yeah. But her
now the Fate should be, stopping her from using her Reaper ability.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Would you rather play croquet against Blythe or dance with Fate?
I'll play croquet against Blythe. I know I'm going to lose, but at least it'll be fun.
Yeah. Does Fate get bashed in the crotch?
It could happen in the croquet match, which is why I'm going to try.
Okay. I think
Are you going to dance with Fate and try and bash him in the crotch?
Yes, exactly. Those were the exact words that were going to come out of my mouth. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to
You'll do the Highland fling while he's trying to do a waltz.
Yes.
Oh, look,
Exactly.
I've just learnt some Irish dancing. We're going to do a jig.
Oh.
Would you rather be haunted by the family of ghosts, so Tilly, Victoria and Oliver, or the ballroom ghosts? And that does include Briar. They're all the looped ghosts.
Is Amity involved in that one?
No.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
because she's not family and she's not one of the ballroom ghosts. She's a free spirit.
Yes, she is a free spirit. I think I'm gonna pick the family because they were really, really funny. We didn't talk about them very much, but I loved that Cygna comes into the room and they're like, oh, look, there she is. Oh, we're going to talk about her. We're going to be really mean. And like, oh, I'm going to go haunt the mirrors. That's real fun. Like, I really liked them. And I appreciated their shenaniganry. So I'm going to pick them.
I don't think it'll have translated over into the US, but there was a program called Rent-A-Ghost when I was a kid. It was like late 70s, early 80s, so obviously I saw repeats.
Right.
And it was a children's television show, but it basically centered on the fact that there was these number of ghosts who work from a firm called Rent-A-Ghost, and they were hired out for specific tasks. It's kind of like the prelude to there is a BBC USA version of Ghosts where they live in a manor, and it's a very good program. And Tilly, Victoria and Oliver gave me kind of Rent-A-Ghost kind of vibes, where it's just going to be funny shenanigans. And I feel like I could get up to some funny shenanigans with them.
Yes, I like
Whereas
that we keep saying shenanigans.
Ghosts, yes, all shenanigans. Well, it's shenanigan filled.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, I'm going to get up shenanigans with Family of Ghosts.
Yeah, I feel
the
like...
ballroom ghosts are just looped.
Yeah, and that just seems depressing.
Yeah. I want to mess with some ghost hunters.
Yeah. Same. Would you rather live at Thorngrove or Wisteria or Foxglove?
Foxglove.
Hands down.
Hands down, Foxglove. Give me the ghosts. Give me the seaside manor.
Give me the closet full of your creepy mother's old dresses.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I really
all the
love the wildflower.
Father's curiosities.
Yes, I really love the wildflower garden too. And it was just like, let's see what'll grow. Fling all the seeds, and then they all grow, and it's amazing and beautiful.
Yes, love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not want to live at Wisteria and all the penis pictures.
No, I do not want to be surrounded by penises all over the place.
No, and Thorngrove's just quite depressing, actually.
Yeah. Let's pick Foxglove.
Cool, we'll have some parties there.
Yeah, okay.
Would you rather spend 2 weeks in Elijah's cell or be married to Fate? And yes, the 2 weeks in Elijah's cell does include your own bespoke beating by a guard.
Ooh.
And gruel and dirty water.
Oh.
You have the toilet facilities of this bucket, which is already half filled.
Nice. Oh,
yes.
really selling it.
Or would you be married to fate? Yes, you would be a princess, but you would have to live at Wisteria Gardens with the penis pictures.
Oh, dang it. I'm going to be married to fate. I don't want to be in prison with no sight and wearing a bag on my head and getting beaten all the time. I'm going to be married to fate, but I'm going to figure a way out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to be married to fate as well, and I'm going to cause his life to be a living hell.
Yeah, I'm going to deface all the penises.
He's going to regret a serious amount of life choices.
Mm-hmm.
And consider how long he's
choices.
been in life. Oh yeah. Puns intended.
No.
We're back, baby!
Favorite final thought quote?
Ooh. I'm going to give you 4.
Okay.
I actually agree with Fate on this one. I've never cared for poetry. Too pretentious.
Yeah. Nah. Would you rather
Would you rather
only enjoy poetry or only enjoy penis art?
That's rock and a hard place. And I'm not telling you which is the hard place.
No.
Depends on the art. I'm going to give you the next quote while you laugh, which is me agreeing with Blythe. He's not going to see me. I'm just going to listen. Speak loudly, cousin. Enunciate. The amount of times I'll tell people to enunciate. We can haunt the mirrors, added the mother. Oh, I do love a good mirror haunting. The girl cannot remain here if she has no staff. We'll have to keep scaring them off. Love Victoria.
Yes.
And lastly, Signa didn't care much for being referred to as one of Fate's creations. After all she'd overcome, boiling her choices down to fate made her success feel unearned, like he somehow had a hand in all her hardest decisions and her biggest triumphs. Fate can fuck right up.
Yes, he can.
What have you got?
Let's see. In the books, the killer is always the quiet one. All her life, those around Signa had treated her like she was evil incarnate. Over the years, she had grown to lean into the oddities of who she was and what she could do, and she finally felt comfortable in her own skin. Perhaps she should change her way of thinking to instead always anticipate the worst and to be pleasantly surprised if nothing horrible happened. And finally, if you're not the villain, prove it to me. You're the villain, fate, villain, horrible.
You are the villain.
Yes. Okay. If you liked this, try this. What are you going to suggest?
I'm going to suggest a book that I was given as a gift this week. I haven't read yet, but the audiobook is narrated by Moira Quirk, who is a favourite.
Yes, we love
and
her.
The book is called Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan, and I'm very excited to read this book. It looks brilliant.
Yes.
It's a tale for everyone who's ever fallen for the villain. When her whole life collapsed, Ray still had books. I don't feel like I need to read anything else from it. That sounds all for me.
I'm sold.
I'll continue.
Okay.
Dying, she seizes a second chance at living, a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favourite fantasy series. She wakes in a castle on the edge of a hellish chasm, in a kingdom on the brink of war. Home to dangerous monsters, scheming courtiers, and her favourite fictional character, the once and forever Emperor. He's impossibly alluring, as only fiction can be, and in this fantasy world she discovers she's not the heroine, but the villainess in the Emperor's tale. So be it. The wicked are better dressed, with better one-liners, even if they're doomed to bad ends. She assembles the wildly disparate villains of the story under her evil leadership, plotting to change their fate. But as the body count rises and the Emperor's fury increases, it seems Rhea and her allies may not survive to see the final page. Expect a rogues gallery of villains, including an axe-wielding maid, a shining knight with dark moods, a homicidal bodyguard, and a playboy spy master with a golden heart and a filthy reputation.
Yes.
I am so excited to read this book. I did not have any clue about it until I was sitting in the coffee shop inside the bookstore, and then my hubby came down and brought me my latte and said, "Here's a book I have bought for you. I saw it on the internet last night and I checked to make sure it was in stock for you." I was like, oh my god, oh, this is so good.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Right up our alley. It's amazing.
Oh,
it sounds fantastic.
As soon as I started with that, the villain, I was like, I need to tell Amanda about this book.
Yep. Yes.
So prepare ourselves next year for a theme 1 month that's basically entering our villain era.
Yeah, all villains all the time.
Cannot wait.
Right.
What it also is hashtag tenuous link. I think there are some links into Foxglove as well.
Yeah, of course.
Figure them out yourself.
Yeah, whatever.
What have you got?
Okay. My suggestion this time is a little weird, but I just finished reading this book, and the reason why I read it, like, it was a long rabbit hole, but I have read this one. And there are some hashtag not tenuous links. But it's called The Book of Elsewhere, and it just came out a few weeks ago.
I've heard of that one. I've seen it a few times.
Uh-huh.
It's thingy.
It's by Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
And China Miéville, and it's like his Berserker comics, but a novel. So, I read it.
And?
I didn't hate it. It was very weird, though. But, I mean, it's by Keanu Reeves, so sold.
I like books that you can be classified as an experience.
Yeah, and this really was.
Good.
She said we needed a tool, so I asked the gods. There have always been whispers, legends, the warrior who cannot be killed, who's seen 1,000 civilizations rise and fall. He has had many names. Unite, Child of Lightning, Death himself. Hashtag tenuous link. These days, he's known simply as B.
Jokat.
I know. And he wants to be able to die. In the present day, a U.S. Black Ops group has promised him they can help him with that, and all he needs to do is help them in return. But when an all-too-mortal soldier comes back to life, the impossible event ultimately points toward a force even more mysterious than B himself. One at least as strong, and one with a plan all its own.
Ooh.
Death and life. Hashtag tenuous link.
Nice.
But it's also Keanu Reeves, and there's a pig.
I mean,
there's a pig.
It's Keanu Reeves.
It's Keanu Reeves. Which can I just backtrack a little bit and explain why I read this one? It's because I was talking to a coworker like a month ago about our podcast and about that time that I cosplayed as Keanu Reeves and I ate grass, and then we talked about those books by Lish McBride, and like it was just all Keanu Reeves. And then she was like, there's a book, have you read it? And so I was thinking it was this one because I had seen this one come up. I knew that it was coming out. And she was like, it's called How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. you should read it. And I was like, okay, that's not what I was expecting. And so I also read that one, and it was not at all anything that I would ever read or anything that we would ever really discuss on the show, because it was just very fluffy and romancy, and girl marries her best friend, spoiler alert, and Keanu Reeves is involved. So I read that Keanu Reeves book, and then I read another Keanu Reeves book, and I was just in a pile of Keanu Reeves.
You're in a Keanu Reeves moment.
Yeah. And it was...
Now you're going to go watch John Wick.
Yeah, or maybe The Matrix.
Point Blank.
I mean, yeah. Oh, Point Blank is good. Yeah. Have you ever ponied your gun up in the air? Maybe I'll watch that instead. Hot Fuzz.
I stayed up once when I should have gone to... I think it was when I was at college. I was like, do I stay up and watch Point Blank and be tired for college tomorrow? And it was one of my, when you have really heavy days of just pure lectures and seminars, or do I go to bed like a sensible person? Of course I stayed up.
Yeah, of course.
Just about caught the bus in the morning. Anywho, do we have a new and indie spotlight?
Yeah.
Is it what I think it's going to be?
No, it is 100% what you think it's going to be. It's Wisteria, because duh, it just came out. Hold on. Excuse me, what is on the cover of your book? Is that a rabbit?
Yes, because if you look at Foxglove on the UK edition as well. So it's a fox with a little bird in its mouth. So the fox is obviously Fate, and there's Cigna. And then if you look at this one, the fox is back, so that's obviously Fate. So the bunny will be
Blythe. Yeah, look, I just have Blythe on the cover of mine.
There is a hardcover of Belladonna that came out years ago when it first came out, but it's really difficult to get and it's quite expensive. I think they're doing a re-release.
Oh.
The Belladonna with the face flower copy. Which I think I've loaned it to my mum because I can't see it, and it would be a nice shot if I did still. Yeah, I think my mum's got it. So I am thinking about getting so I've got the matching set.
You need a matching set.
Yeah.
Okay, so the summary. Blythe Hawthorne has never let anyone tell her what to do. Not society, not her overprotective father, and certainly not the man she's bound herself to, no matter how rude and insufferable he is. In fact, she's determined to be a thorn in his side for the rest of her days, even as he ensures her that her life in his palace is anything but a fairy tale. But as Blythe discovers a new side of herself linked to his past, she'll have to decide if she's willing to let an unexpected spark ignite, and to discover the truth about who she really is.
I genuinely did not read the summary of that until today.
Me neither.
I finished Belladonna
And
instantly went,
bought Foxglove and Wisteria, right?
Yeah, and the Waterstones where I got Wisteria from, because it's a Waterstones exclusive cover that I've got. It had it up saying this is a special edition of Wisteria. I was like, oh, it's still open for pre-order, so I pre-ordered it. But the second that Adalyn Grace started advertising on her Instagram, on socials, it sold out. And I was like, yeah, I've had it pre-ordered for about 2 months.
Yeah.
So smug Claire was very smug.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this episode of Fictional Hangover. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Claire.
Join us next time as we discuss the short story In Mercy Reign, part of the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. Look out for our Would You Rather polls and monthly challenges on social media. Don't forget about our book club on Discord. Be sure to visit our shop on Redbubble at fictionalhangover.redbubble.com for all your favorite Fictional Hangover themed merchandise, and become a patron of ours on Patreon at patreon.com/fictionalhangover. Until next time, remember, the only cure for a fictional hangover is another book.
You can find us at fictionalhangover.com. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, TikTok and YouTube at Fictional Hangover, and find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fictionalhangover. If you like this episode, check out our others and be sure to rate, review and subscribe so you don't miss out. And finally, special thanks to Liz Emerson for our music. You can find her on Facebook and Patreon. Thanks for listening.